So good afternoon friends. Today we are discuss about the malarial parasite. We are very familiar to the malarial parasite. That malarial parasite is nothing but the Plasmodium. The classification of this Plasmodium is phylum Protozoa, subphylum Sporozoa, class Telosporia, order Eucopsidia and genus Plasmodium. So it is obligate intracellular parasite, which is that obligate parasite means which is totally depend on the host, that is called as the obligate parasite. Generally it is present inside the cell because of it is called as the intracellular parasite. The Plasmodium, it is obligate intracellular parasite. It causes malaria, so commonly referred as the malarial parasite. The transmitting agent or the vector is female anopheles mosquito. Generally we all think about that female anopheles mosquito is the causing agent, but it is not the causing agent, it is the transmitting agent, and the causing agent is Plasmodium. There are four species which cause the malaria, that is Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium ovale, Plasmodium malariae, and Plasmodium falciparum. The life cycle of Plasmodium is digenic because the life cycle is completed in two hosts, that is one is the human being and second is the female anopheles mosquito. Primary host is female anopheles mosquito and secondary host is human being. Life cycle of Plasmodium vivax is also divided into the two, means asexual life cycle and the sexual life cycle. Just observe in this diagram, you have very clearly seen here is the gametes and the zygote is formed inside the female anopheles mosquito. Means the sexual life cycle is complete in female anopheles mosquito and asexual life cycle is complete in human beings. So first is asexual cycle or the schizogony in man. Schizogony is the process of asexual reproduction by which Plasmodium undergoes asexual multiplication in liver cell and RBC of man. It occurs in human liver cell, that is called as the liver schizogony, and in RBC, that is called as the erythrocytic schizogony. So simply these are the stages. First is the liver schizogony, which is divided into the pre-erythrocytic schizogony and exoerythrocytic schizogony. When it enter into the liver RBC, then it is called as the erythrocytic cycle. Then after that, accidentally it enter into the again the RBC, that is called as the post erythrocytic cycle, and then after that the formation of gametocytes. Before that the infection should occur, so that is the first stage. First is infection. So think simple, that is nothing but the flow chart, just to have understand. That first is the infection, then after that by the biting of mosquito sporozoite. When it is entering into the human body, that is in the sporozoite stage, then it is entering into the liver cell. There is again two stages, that is the pre-erythrocytic schizogony and exoerythrocytic schizogony. Pre-sporozoite is converted into the cryptozoite converted into the cryptomerozoite. Then after that, when it enters the fresh liver cell, it is becomes the metacryptozoite, and metacryptozoite it becomes the metacryptomerozoite. It enter into the RBC and it is converted into the tropozoite, signet ring stage, amoeboid stage, cyzote, and merozoite. This merozoite accidentally into the RBC, that is post erythrocytic schizogony, or the it enter into the formation the gametocyte stage. So first is the infection by the biting of infected female anopheles mosquito. It injects thousands of sporozoites along with the saliva, because the simple sporozoite is present in the salivary glands of female anopheles mosquito. When they have sucked the blood, ultimately pressure creates on the salivary gland and the sporozoites are released in the human body with saliva. That is the infective stage, that is the sporozoite, which is small spindle shaped or sickle shaped uninucleated, where the single nucleus is present, and at the anterior end there is the apical cap and the micropyle is present. Then the sporozoite enter into the liver cell, and that is called the liver schizogony. It becomes the rounded, that is called as the cryptozoite. Again it is goes into the sexual multiplication, that is called as, and it becomes the cryptomerozoite. Pressure creates on the liver cell, cell get burst and it enter into the fresh liver cell, that becomes the cryptozoite. This metacryptozoite again it is goes into the asexual cycle and it becomes there is a multinucleate that is called as a metacryptomerozoite. Cell get burst, it enter into the RBC. Now the erythrocytic cycle. That particularly elongated spindle shape that is the metacryptomerozoite, it enter into the RBC and it becomes the rounded that is called as the tropozoite stage. And simply it digested hemoglobin. We know very well about that hemoglobin that is the respiratory pigment in human beings which carry oxygen and carbon dioxide which is very important for the respiration process. Simply that which is digested out the hemoglobin, it is converted into the hematin and it forms the toxic substances that is the hemozoin. It is grows in size and nucleus pushed to one side and vacuoles are developed that is ring-like structure because of it is called as the signet ring stage. Ring stage. After that it sends pseudopodial processes which is amoeboid like structure because of it is called as the amoeboid stage. After that again there is the asexual multiplication means there is single nucleus, here is the multinucleated that becomes the sison and simply there is the sexual cycle is takes place and then there is the number of cells as formed that is called as the merocyte. RBC get burst and simply now that merocyte it suppose it enter into the RBC that is called as the post erythrocytic cycle. See, ultimately the impulse of a sexual cycle get exhausted and then it enter into the fresh liver cell and it becomes the gametocytes. Gametocytes again there are the two types microgametocytes and megagametocytes. And then next is the sexual cycle. Sexual cycle or gametogeny when female anaphylis mosquito bites an infected person, they suck the gametocyte and other stages of erythrocytic cycle along with blood. But we have always seen that the particularly the sexual cycle in female anaphylis mosquito always starts with the gametocytes because particularly the gametocyte can resist the digestive juices and all other stages are they are digested out. So the always starts with sexual cycle always starts with the gametocyte because of that. Then the gametocytes again there are we have seen the flow chart. Simply first is the gametogenesis, formation of microgamete and formation of macrogametes. Then there is the fertilization, this microgamete from the microgamete male gametes are developed, macrogametes female gametes are developed. Then there is the fertilization will occur. After the fertilization zygote is developed. That zygote which is rounded in shape it becomes the vermiform that is called as the ookinete. Ookinete it becomes the oocyst and sporozoite. Simply in this that microgamete there is the flagellation processes occur and it develop into the male gametes. In case of the megagamete or the macrogamete, simply the nuclear reorganization is occur and it develops into the female gamete. The fertilization is occur that sperm enter into the female gamete through the particular portion that is called as the cone of reception. Then there is the zygote is developed. That zygote it becomes into the vermiform that is called as the ookinete. That ookinete enter into the stomach wall. Here is note that if suppose ookinete cannot enter into the stomach wall, it goes outside the body. So simply it enter into the stomach wall and it becomes the oocyst. Then ultimately there is the asexual cycle takes place and the sporocytes are developed. When that sporocytes are developed, ultimately it reaches to the salivary gland of female anaphylis mosquito. When that female anaphylis mosquito bites the human beings to suck the blood, ultimately pressure creates on the salivary gland and it enter into the human body in the sporocyte stage. Thank you.